Alright, so this is going to be a little tutorial for you guys. I went ahead and made a new scene here, tutorial scene, and I'll show you a few things to remember when making a level that I may have not explained as well, and I'll show you how to like test it and everything. So, making a level, obviously you want to name it. If we're working on World 2 levels, I'll just going to say World 2 for now, and then make sure, this is the biggest part, is resetting everything. You want everything to be at 0 when you're first starting to make a level and everything like that. The only other thing I would put under this is a blocks empty game object to hold all of your blocks, because obviously that's going to be like a lot of objects filling up your hierarchy. I wouldn't do anything like doors or anything like that, because pretty much the more stuff you put down here, the more chance you have for error. So I would just do this and then do blocks and then have all of your mechanics. I guess the only other thing that I might do is environment for like grass and everything like that. Oh, I spelled it wrong. This one won't be too bad because it's not as detrimental if it's off a little bit, because the environment assets you don't actually have to snap. You can place them as wherever you want, but this is just to clean it up. So once you have this, you definitely want to make sure that it's all zeroed out, and then this is where you can go ahead and put in your first block and everything and start from here. So all of the block prefabs are still going to be here. I'm going to clean up the project a bit, so hopefully it'll be a little bit nicer. I can sort it through mechanics, blocks, and stuff like that. Let me know what you guys think, or I could leave it like this. It's for whatever you guys want. But yeah, so now once you place the first dirt block in, make sure it's under blocks, and then you can start editing it. I like to go click this right here. Can you guys see my mouse cursor? Yeah, okay, sweet. I like to go into this right here and change it to isometric, and then if you click, if you click the Y, it'll bring you to the top, and the directional light gets in the way a little bit. You can literally just move this around anywhere. It doesn't matter. But once you're in this view, you can click just directly top down, and it's super nice. And then Control D will duplicate, and you can drag it out. I like making everything square here with the grid, so I'll move this one right here and then do that like this. I like making everything here because so we have like a point in the center, and the center's not. It doesn't matter too much. It's just this point right here is where the camera is gonna focus. So that's also important for you guys to know. This is where the camera is gonna focus when we go to this level. So build your level around this point, or build it with keeping that in mind. If you're building multiple islands, you don't have to do like island 1, island 2, like island 2 or anything like that. Don't worry about that. I can put in an object later to make the camera go to island 2. Like I can do my own empty game object when we're in the scene. But if you guys want to do something like island 2 transform, so you can put this where you want the camera to go next for this level. So if you're building like a level with multiple islands, put this one wherever you want it to go, but don't build anything under this transform. Just keep everything here. So this will just stay like this. You don't have to build the island under this transform at all. Just keep everything here. So yeah, and you can select multiple things and deselect with control. You just hold down control to select and deselect things. And this is super nice because you can Control D and duplicate a lot of blocks out. So this is kind of my workflow when I've made levels. So just holding Control D. Sorry, I might have said Shift D earlier. It's Control D. And then this is how you can build big levels fast, because you can just start duplicating like this. You don't have to worry about the order or anything like that. You're chilling on that. You don't gotta worry. So then you have a base here. Everything should be square. You're looking for 0.5s, solid numbers or halves. If you see something else, you've done something wrong, or Unity messed up. I'm not sure, but just do something like that. That's kind of how you build it. And then when you're doing mechanics and stuff, like if you want to do a lever and a gate, you can drag this in here. Like something like the lever, you don't have to be too picky about. What is that? Oh, that's the audio source. You don't have to be too picky about. Obviously, you want to snap it so it looks like it's flush with the ground. But I mean, if it's off like this, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter because it shouldn't be in the water affecting anything. If it is, just make sure that you turn this on right here and snap it. This is how you snap, by the way. You turn this on and it should be set to 0.5 right here. And then if you can't snap or it's grayed out, it's because this is set to local. You can't snap local transforms in local space, so just make sure that's set to global, and you'll be able to snap everything here. So that's kind of like the basics of building a level. Just make sure everything's aligned. You want to double or triple check because we don't want to have to rebuild things later. Shout out to Hannah with the duck level. Still not working. We might have to do that one again. But so that's that. And now I'll build a grass thing really quick, and then I'll show you all how to test really quick. So yeah, it's just do one thing, blocks, put the grass under that too. Again, working from the top down is super nice. Shift D, sorry, Control D. I don't know why I keep saying Shift. Cool. And then this is still Control or Shift if you want to, but I use Control because if you're using Shift, it doesn't let you deselect things, but if you're using Control, you can click around and select and deselect. So it's super nice there. So I'll go ahead and put in a lever and a gate here really quick, so I can show you guys how to test. Where's the gate? Right here. These objects also, oops, okay, so this is a good example. If you're seeing something like this, that's wrong. I didn't move everything up one, so this is only like half a block here. So what we're gonna do is, this is what's nice is these are all sorted. If you build it this way, it's all sorted in here, so you can click on the grass, click on this grass, bring all the grass up at once. If not, you can try to do some sort of select like that. Unity does also have a select like this, by the way. It's just a little finicky. At some points, like, I feel like I should be selecting that block, but I'm not until I get to here, because like the majority of the block has to be selected. So it's a little odd, but there we go. And then I'll move the lever up here and take the gate up here. And then if you notice, I close this, the gate's not a part of this, so you can just drag that in there. When you're making a prefab of your level, what you're going to want to do is just make sure like the only other things you have in your scene is like the camera and the light, and then everything else in the scene should be your level, and then you can just prefab. So this is how you assign the gate function, by the way. So click on the lever and then drag the gate into this right here, lever event. Oops, I missed. Into lever event. And then under this, you'll find gate, and then you'll find check door state, and that will open and close the gate. Sometimes there's an update, but if you click back on it, you'll see that it's right there like that. This is actually wrong. Here, let me fix this really quick. There we go, cool. All right, so now I have a little level that we can test. The way we're gonna test it is come down to new water. This is why I need to sort the project, because there's water like in here and in here, you know, a couple different places. But you want to use new water, and you want to use source block. These are what blocks that the source spawns, and the source is the source. It's what has all the cubes that actually control everything. So we're gonna drag the source block in here. You don't have to put it under your world for testing or anything. You can just put it wherever you want. It spawned way up top. I'm gonna go back into perspective because it's a little bit nicer to line everything up in perspective mode here. So you want to line up the water where you want it to, like, first hit the ground here, and make sure that it's flush with the ground, because if it's like this, then it'll spawn like that all the way around and it'll look like it's raised. So make sure it's flush, and then come over here to Y and just take this value, and you can actually do addition in Unity, like in the value. So just add like 10 or whatever to it, and it'll go up 10 values, and when you hit play, it will start streaming. As long as you did the water source, it'll start streaming. If you did something else, it won't work. But so that's why it has to be water source, and it'll go. And now I'll show you how to put input in the camera in. So in prefabs, we have player manager. Yes, player manager. So drag player manager in. Go ahead and delete the other camera. And under player manager, it should be this on default. So I will change that. So I'll apply all. So can't input should be default. If you're having problems with input and you have a player manager in here, it's probably because can't input is unchecked. So double check that. A lot of these scripts we don't care about. They shouldn't cause any error, I'm pretty sure. But again, if you can't test anything, let me know and I can try to look and fix it. So player manager, drag in here. To make it line up with the scene, this is the object that actually like lines up with everything. So, or you know, with the island, this is the object that moves in the actual game. So take this, and then you can drag it here, maybe not. Alright, whatever. I think it's close enough. We'll be chilling. I thought you could drag that in there, but it's making me, it wants me to break the prefab, and we're not going to do that. So as long as you can move player around, I guess this is just for testing purposes, really. So as long as you can drag the player prefab around a little bit, or as long, you know, it's like you can see the island, you can drag player manager around until you can see it nicely. Yeah, so here we go. So now when we hit play, we should have input, as long as this is enabled. So we should be able to move around our island here. and we should be able to hit the lever. Sweet. And everything else should be good to go. Like if you put a pipe in, if you put a sliding block in, you should be able to grab and do everything like that. So yeah, as long as you have a source and you can make it to the end of the level without the water being polluted at the end, you know, as long as you can get it off screen, you should be good. And then if you, the last thing that I would do, so I don't have to do it for every level, this is just something I didn't tell you guys, this is completely my fault, because I wasn't thinking about it when I first told you guys about this. So the way that I do everything is we have our level prefab, and then to make it look like all of our levels are complete, you know, before, because if you pick a later level, you see all of the complete previous levels, which is a cool effect that I really like, because it shows you, like, you know, you've done this progress. I make prefabs of the levels complete. So for a level like this, what you want to do is come and drag in, where is it? So you're gonna want to put the win condition in, which is this block right here. It's called transition condition. And over here, we're gonna put it up. Wow, that perspective is way off. Here we go. So with these, you line it up with where the water is gonna be falling at the end of the level. So like here, it's gonna be falling here. And again, you don't want half blocks, you want whole blocks here. And then we do the same thing. So in Y, you do like -10 or something like that. I think I've been doing -15 to make it go off all of the screens that I've been testing. So like do like -15. And so now you have your source where your water is going to be coming in and where it's going to be falling. And what you can do here, I'm actually going to raise the source a little bit to show you guys. Like, so I would do 15 above the level and 15 below the level, just to make sure that it's getting cut off and you can actually like see the water coming in. You know what I mean? So we'll keep it like that. So just do like 15 above the level, 15 below the level. Run it again to make sure it'll, you know, hit and look nice and everything like that. And then, so this is your prefab. This is your world prefab. When you run it and tested it and it works, you're chilling. That's cool. That's perfect. So you can make a prefab out of this. You know, prefabs, just drag it in here. I'll go ahead and do that just so I can show you guys. So world 2. So just make sure that you have everything in there. Go ahead and throw the source block in there, I guess. And then drag that in there. So again, the only thing you should have in the scene is your whole world packaged under world prefab. Directional light player manager. Drag that in there, so I got world 2 here. And then what you're going to do now is unpack the prefab. And unpacking in the scene here is going to make this not a prefab, so it's not attached to this anymore. This still exists, but if I change anything in here, it's not going to affect this. So now we're going to make something called the same title as the world you just made, complete. So world 2 complete here for our purposes. And we're going to grab our static water. Again, I'll make this in a more obvious place. It's in block prefabs, but I don't like how everything just has a prefab logo. It's whatever. I'll make everything a little bit nicer. So just put this under blocks as well. So static water. And then again, you want to line this up here. So I usually just start lining it up in a corner because it's kind of the easiest. And then we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to put water everywhere that it's supposed to be. So think about when you complete the level, where is there water and where is there not water? I don't know why I'm explaining it. It's pretty, you know, it's you're watching this. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then your mechanics. So let's say you have a rock here in this spot right here, in your actual prefab. In here, just delete it. Just get it out of there. Pretend like we've already broken that rock. And for our purposes here, I'm going to click this gate, and we're going to pretend like I've already opened the gate. So I'm going to go down to gate graphics because that's what actually has the pivot. Go to Y, 90, the gate's open. So we're going to pretend like that's just done. This is when it becomes super nice to use our drag select here. So if you get a good angle at it, you should be able to drag and get at least 3, which is good enough for what we're doing here. And then you want to line this all the way up to be touching. You want a water block intersecting this little microphone thing. What I just clicked on is our transition condition. It's nice that we have the little microphone visual because it's literally an invisible block. But so just line up the last water block here, and you're done on that. And then do the same thing all the way up to the source. This seems like a lot, but once you get the workflow down with the Control D and shift selecting and everything, so we're all the way up here to our source block. I'm going to delete it, duplicate it up to where that source block would have been. And so our static water blocks aren't going to update, but they're going to be a nice visual for our complete level. So this one just looks complete, looks like we did it. Don't worry about the lever swapping. Alright, the gate closed. That's very interesting. I will fix that, but just do this. I'll fix it. But everything else is working as intended. And then what you're going to want to do is World 2 complete, and then also make a prefab out of it. So now we have our level that we're going to play, and we have our level that's complete. I think that's about it. I showed you the player manager and everything. So, also we were listening to Tunic music in the background the whole time, just so you guys know. Play this game. It's fantastic. Alright. Sounds cool.
told you y'all narcotics, and my people's always hiding all those bugle bars you ain't.